meet you.
Hey, nice to meet you.
Councilmember Kevin Conway. I love it.
I appreciate it. Welcome aboard. Hey, Brian. Yeah, Jimmy Haslem. Nice to see you.
Okay,
Thanks for coming, guys.
let's call caucus to order.
I'm going to tweet on the seat. Covering homeless or
Okay, we have the privilege of having the new owners of the Bronx with us. Want to close the door?
Mr. Henry, there's glass on there. Don't spit.
It's all right.
There's a seat back here.
Just grab a seat.
You know your tendency, I'll volunteer all the way.
Stop it. We have the privilege of having the new owner of the Bronx come by and begin the relationship that we are very hopeful is going to be productive. We have the football side, and we have, as we're all going to be fans. We have the business side, that we're partners, and what today's only about is an introduction. So, like we always do, I am Councilman Martin Sweeney from Ward 18. I represent the southwest side of the city of Cleveland. As you're driving up from the airport, you see the Marriott. That's the heart of my ward. We'll go around and introduce ourselves to you, and then we'll have a nice opportunity for listening to what you have to say, and we'll have some question and answers. And we're done at noon, and we are walking out, and we're going to start our second portion of Brian Cummings' expected guest.
Mike Polensek, Councilman Ward 11, Northeast Side, east of the stadium, senior member City Council.
Good. Nice to meet you.
Jay Westbrook, Council Ward 16. The top of my board looks right over at the west side of the stadium.
Good.
Just to give you perspective, 16 years, 34 years, 34.
33.
Jeff, excuse me, Councilman.
I can't read that.
64.
I'm not that old. No. I'm Jeff Johnson. I represent 3 communities of Glenville, St. Clair Superior neighborhood, and parts of University Circle.
Right.
Councilman Kane hiding in the back.
Marty Kane, Ward 19, northwest portion of the city of Camps Corners, West Park.
Marty, come up to the table, please, if you don't mind.
Just say it's regular season.
Brian?
You got it.
Brian Cummins, Councilman, near west side of Cleveland. Thanks for coming.
Terrell Pruitt, I represent the 3 prime neighborhoods, Lee Harbor, Leesville, Miles, and Mount Pleasant. I'm the furthest east and the furthest south that you can stay in the city of Cleveland.
And he was our point person for the classic football.
Matt Zone, I've been at council 11 years. I represent Ward 15, 3 distinct neighborhoods, the Detroit Shore, part of Ohio City, Stockyards neighborhood. I start at the mouth of the Cuyahoga River and go along the lakefront. Section 126, row 25, seats 11 to 13.
Thank you. Look forward to seeing you soon.
How long have you been councilman?
6 years.
6 years?
6.5.
5.
Tony.
Councilman Tony Frank Kelly, been on council for 6 years. Served primarily what's known as the South Village neighborhood. Season ticket holder, not as long as my colleague here, but enjoy being a great fan.
Good. Thank you all.
I'm Councilman Zachary. I represent the 2nd Ward, which is on the southeast side of the city of Cleveland. And I have the distinction of saying that Mr. Fred Nance lived and grew up in Mount Pleasant, and the great Jim Brown lived in Mount Pleasant at the same time.
He's going to be here this weekend, you know.
That's
right. Yeah.
Joe.
Joseph Min, I represent Tremont, Ohio City, downtown, Oakland, Center. Welcome to Cleveland. We're so happy you're here.
Thank you.
16 years.
Oh, this the new
Councilmember Kevin Conway, I represent the Little League, Great University Circle, as well as the Great Neighborhood. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
10 years.
10 years. The floor is yours, Mr.
Hey,
Haslem.
thanks. Well, let me start by saying thanks for letting us come by today. We appreciate it. And I'll remind everybody that we've not been approved by the NFL yet. We're going to New York tomorrow to meet with the Finance Committee. And if everything goes well, and we don't want to be presumptuous, we'd be approved on October the 16th. So I just want to remind everybody that we're not the owners yet. We certainly hope to be and plan to be, but don't want to be presumptuous. But thanks for letting us come by. You've probably heard me say on several times, we're delighted to be part of Cleveland and the Cleveland Browns. And I'll be honest, I had never spent much time in Cleveland before this opportunity came up. I was here this spring, I had a physical at the Cleveland Clinic, and we have truck stops in the area, but I'd never spent time in Cleveland And I've been overwhelmed by the friendliness of the people, and candidly very impressed as a business person by everything you all have going on in this community, whether it be the downtown, the convention center, and obviously everything that is being talked about on the lakefront. So I congratulate you. That doesn't happen easily, and obviously there's good leadership in the city. We're very excited about the Browns, and I suspect most people in the room are football fans. I don't think I've met anybody in Cleveland who's not a football fan, and I've not met anybody that wasn't at the '64 championship game. Must have had 700,000 people at that game. I've had people tell me there that looked like they were 25 years old. So Terrell, were you there? But we're excited about being part of the community. If you've done any work on our background in Knoxville and in Tennessee, our family's always been very heavily involved in Knoxville and East Tennessee and in Tennessee communities that we live and operate in, and we're obviously planning on doing the same in Cleveland. We will be living here a substantial part of the time beginning in mid to late October, assuming we're approved, and we look forward to being a part of this community. Obviously, our first job is to bring a winner to the Browns. We get that. And I think that's the best thing we can do. But secondly, we want to be a player in the community and plan on being so. And I'll be glad to answer any questions or do whatever you guys want to.
Oh, don't say that. It's a little risky. Who are you?
Hey, Kevin, Jimmy Haslem. Yeah, my pleasure. Nice to meet you.
He's our minority or majority whip, so Phyllis Cleveland is there, she's our majority leader, that's the leadership structure. Councilman Brancatelli, just for question and answers.
Yeah, I thought a couple things. One is certainly thank you for your commitment to the city, commitment to this franchise. Certainly, as you've learned and done your research, it's just an incredible history and incredible fan base, as you well know.
Great time, by the way.
And thank you. My son has a young son who decided I better wear this tie this morning on my way.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
And I just wanted to, reemphasize our support, certainly anything that we can do to help. There's a lot of integration between what's going on over there and what happens over here. We certainly appreciate the opportunity. The other point I just want to make was one commitment by your team, not just the players themselves, but also administration. My son goes to a school called Birchwood. Our council president serves as a board member, and Dave Jenkins serves as a board member.
Good.
And they've been great in really extending themselves into the community. And I did want to hand it off. Slavic Village neighborhoods had the highest foreclosure rate in the United States in real estate. But your commitment and the Browns' commitment coming out, they installed a playground this summer, came out and volunteered. It was a great opportunity for the kids to engage with their team. The tall gentleman in the background is not your tight end. It's our council president holding up 10 fingers, and I think he was saying we're going to have 10 wins this year. So we appreciate your community engagement. Yeah, right. We appreciate your community engagement.
Great. Well, thank you.
Your administration.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you. Council Pleasant.
Again, welcome.
Thank you.
We've had a historic relationship with the Browns, and we're glad to see you here. I've talked to some folks connected with the Browns, and they have that excitement that you have spread, that you brought to the team.
Good.
One of the things I wanted to raise, the relationship of the stadium with the city. We have this magnificent complex down here in the lake. Unfortunately, we can't use it all the time because it is an open-air facility.
Right.
I hope at some point in the future, once we see a winning team on that field, we can actually talk and discuss what's the possibility, if there is any possibility, of putting a retractable roof on the lakefront stadium.
Yeah, great comment, Councilman. And let me say 2 or 3 things. One of the first acts that we'll do, and I've said this several times, assuming we're approved, is to bring in, I think there's 3 nationally known stadium architects, and it'd be crazy not to talk to all 3 of them and get their ideas about the stadium. We are completely open-minded, and we want to provide really 2 things. One, great experience for our fans at a Browns game. But I think secondly, and I assume this is what everybody's interested in this room is interested in, we want to use that facility as much as we possibly can. We want to use it more than we can now. So anything that helps us do that, I'm certainly not at all saying we're going to do that, but we'll certainly take a look at it.
And just that, I just appreciate that, because we need year-round employment, we need opportunities, and we have this facility, and if we can do it to generate jobs and economic development and help the Browns and help the city, then we're in
complete agreement.
Thank you.
Councilman Zone.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. First of all, Mr. Haslem, I want to send greetings from my son. He told me to tell you he's a Sigma Chi, and he's really.
Where's he in school?
He's at Kent State University.
Oh, good, yeah.
You know, I just want to build upon what Councilman Brackatelli said. You know, the Browns' involvement in our community is vital. As you're learning quickly, sometimes almost the psyche of the city goes with the Browns, and having the Browns involved in our community is important. Had the opportunity to work with this program. It's called Christmas in April, and had about 20 of your players out. They painted a whole house in one day. It was wonderful. I'm glad that you want to get involved in the community. We're here to help you in any way we can, and really thrilled that you're the person who's taking over the helm of this.
Well, thanks, and I promise you, we'll be involved in the community, meaning ourselves, our family, but we'll also encourage our players and coaches to be involved too, because I think it's important, and I also think it's good for them, candidly, to remember where they came from, what life's really about, because it's easy for these guys to get a little isolated from the real world, so we'll make an effort to do that.
We have just been joined by the hardest working councilwoman around, Councilwoman Mamie J. Mitchell.
Jimmy, nice to meet you, man.
She just got done groundbreaking the RTA new station.
All right, good job.
And we're tired.
It's easy if you come to town, you want to take the rap, we got a good station.
We thought you were trying out for the team.
Well, if Big Jim asked me to try out.
There you go.
Jim too.
Mr. Haslem, this past year, through Mr. Jenkins and the support of Mr. Nance, the Browns really turned their brand to something that was extremely important for our kids in the city. We have free smoothies as part of Mayor Jackson and Council President Sweeney's Healthy Cleveland program. And just having the Browns imprimatur on it brought kids out. And we were able to serve over 14,000 kids who actually enjoyed broccoli and spinach because it came in a fruit smoothie. And I just want to thank you for that, because I've been a fan since Red Red 88. And I can tell you where on the freeway I was when the ball got fumbled on the 4-yard line. I was listening illegally on my Walkman. But what I can tell you is that power of the Browns really came forth in our rec centers, and kids turned out because you guys put your stamp on it.
Good.
And I just want to thank you for that, because I'm hoping we can do more like that. It's just amazing what happens when you export that into the communities, because people really buy into it.
Good.
So thank you.
All right, thank you.
And just on that point, I'm going to diversify a little bit from our conversation. Councilman Zimmerman is in charge of our health committee. We asked him to be the chairperson. And the way our structure of council is, I'm the council president, there's 11 committees, and each one touch different facets of the city. Councilman Brackatelli, we're thinking about passing a law that says it's illegal to text in the city of Cleveland, but we may pass it as illegal to text during a caucus meeting when the council president is talking. But he's the fourth. He's in charge of our CDED committee, so economic development and community development falls in his right. Matt's in charge of our OEO, Joel's in charge of our utilities, Marty's in charge of our AD. So we all play a different function in different roles. So some of them touch the Cleveland Browns, the functions on the professional side. That's why I shared it's a professional side that we're going to do most of our interaction from our professional responsibilities. But as he said, we're all fans of the Cleveland Browns. And totally separate. Football and management are two separate things. So don't be telling them how to do down out in the mountains, who you did what. Councilman, I set you up because you always want something.
Right, that's what I want.
Councilman Terrell.
Welcome to the City of Cleveland.
Thank you, Joe.
Obviously, the relationship between the Browns and the City of Cleveland is usually, as the council president said, is always on the business side.
Right.
And as those issues come up, we'll deal with them accordingly as we did in the past. But I just want to know a little bit more about yourself. Obviously, you had a significant interest, you made a significant investment to buy the Browns. We hear stories about you riding a team bus from the airport to from the hotel to the stadium, sitting in press conferences. Just a little bit about your excitement about football, what brought you to buy the Browns, and what do you expect in the future?
Yeah, I'll try to be real quick with it, but I said this at our opening press conference. I grew up in a football family. My dad played football, Tennessee national championship team, and I can remember going to watch Tennessee Vols practice when I was 5 and 6 years old. Played high school football. I had a lot of friends that played college football, so I was around football a lot. Obviously, 4 or 5 years ago, I had the opportunity to have a minority interest in that other team, as we call it. We're gonna reverse things and not be 2-22 again, yeah. And that was a great experience. You know, I got to watch how they ran things and got to learn a little bit more. And mainly though, I got exposed to the NFL and got to know the players at the NFL, the people at the NFL. And so when this opportunity came up, when the Lerner family decided to sell, we had let the NFL be known that the right opportunity came along, we'd be excited. And we heard it was Cleveland. We were tremendously excited. And I'll be honest, as excited as we were, we vastly underestimated the intensity and the passion of the people of Cleveland, which I can see everybody nodding because you all know and understand better than I do about football. It's overwhelming. I've said this before, and please don't take this the wrong way. I've lived in Knoxville 58 years, and we have a pretty large business in a relatively small town. My brother's the governor, my father's a very influential guy, but I'm much better known in Cleveland than Knoxville. It's not because of me, it's because of the Browns. And so it's been great, it's been a lot of fun, and I'm a fan just like you are, Terrell. I mean, I want to win, and I like meeting Trent Richardson, et cetera. And our total commitment, and I can't guarantee it, all I'll guarantee is that we'll work extremely hard to bring a winning team to the Browns, because I felt pressure to win before, but having been here, I really feel pressure now. Somebody, when they write a story that says that we might be the best thing to happen to the Browns since Jim Brown, that's saying a lot. And I thought, my wife read that to me last night, and she said, "What do you think?" I said, "I think we better work hard to make this work." So we're really excited to be part of things here, and hopefully that shows.
Definitely, thank you. And thank you once again, welcome to Cleveland. We're excited.
Thank you.
Okay, Terrell. You've been talking about it for a long time. I'll give you one question on the football side. What do you want?
Right now, I want to win Sunday. That's what I want.
Yeah.
You've been talking about a position for about 2 years.
We good. I think we had a decent draft, and I think I think we put together a good defensive effort on the first week. We had a good offense. That's now going to put a complete game plan.
Yeah.
And I think we will.
We need to win Sunday. You're right.
I think we will win. We can.
You're quick
I'm
on your feet,
excited.
man. Councilman Johnson.
A couple of things. One, as a former state senator, I used to travel up and down 71 and enjoy, still do enjoy Pilot.
Thank you.
You know, one of my
We
stops.
really appreciate that, because I wouldn't be here if you hadn't done that.
250.
Yeah, I know. I just want you to know that. Yeah. So
Please keep doing
we've had
that,
a
too.
relationship now,
Thank you.
know, but the other is really, first of all, I'm glad to see that Ted Nance is here with you. He's one of our most respected attorneys, and I hope he stays with you.
Absolutely.
Once you come on board. Lakefront development, your thoughts about, as you as you bought the team, what's your thought of the Cleveland Browns' role in the development of the lakefront?
Well, let me say this. We're just now starting to learn and understand what's going on with the lakefront, and we want the Browns to be supportive and play a key role in it. And I'll be honest, Councilman, beside that, I probably don't know enough to comment. I mean, it's obviously a spectacular piece of property. I don't know if you want to look at us as the anchor, because you have, some other real key people down there, including Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, but certainly we play a key role, and we want to be supportive of that area growing and developing, and as Councilman said here, providing jobs, bringing people into the city, et cetera. Any way that makes sense, we want to help.
And I saw that the Cleveland Browns was going to be part of the a discussion about an RFP and what have you. So it's more of my hope that you continue to be a partner with the other partners down there to help with the development after you get settled in. That's really my plug to say. We hope you stay with the partnership when we develop the lake.
Understand, thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Westbrook?
Mr. President, you want to introduce our Councilman TJ Down?
I appreciate that, but he had the opportunity to shake his hand first of all.
Oh, okay.
Councilman TJ Downs, all right.
How are you, sir?
Good,
All right.
Councilman.
Where you from? Where you
Oh,
from?
the Huff area, St. Clair Superior neighborhood.
Good.
We got League Park.
League.
League Park,
Historical.
historical League Park. So I think the
Tell me a
Browns
little about
should do
League
some stuff
Park.
there.
There's so much
The Browns
wonderful
should do some
heritage
stuff
and tradition in the city.
Yeah,
We're
we're
going to start
learning
learning
that.
about it.
We're learning that.
But this is a good one. League Park.
Yeah.
What is it?
Well, it's historical. Babe Ruth hit his 500th home run there. Babe Ruth.
Really?
And Negro Baseball League played there, but also the Browns, I believe, practiced and played there as well.
We had the 1920 championship league.
See, he's a historian. So we have a historical piece of land, so I'm glad we got on the same page as a city, and we're moving that project forward. So hopefully in about another month, we'll be breaking ground on League Park, and we would love to have Cleveland Browns and Cleveland Indians, all our sports come together and support the project.
Right.
Then the S start coming, right?
That's right. That's right.
Councilman Westbrook.
Mr. Haslem, meeting you earlier, I just shared with you that we share the South as
Right.
And I'm
Are you from Arkansas?
I'm Forest City outside of
Sure.
Memphis.
Yeah, sure.
So there's nothing, to my friends on the council, there's nothing like football in the South, but
I've learned you gotta be careful saying that up here. I was taken to task in our first interview.
well, I'm going to say over 40 years in Cleveland, I'd say this is a strong equivalent to football in the South.
Yeah.
And there's really not, the last time we were in the playoffs, there were Browns helmets on the statues outside of the Federal Reserve Bank and all over downtown. So you really got a strong franchise. I think the last time Fred Nance was here was when Cleveland fought with the NFL to keep our colors and keep our franchise, and it was a strong effort. As you can see, I know, I'm sure you've been on the mayor's side of City Hall too, but we have the best view. We have and the view of the lakefront and the stadium, so
Right.
we are able from this point to keep our hands on the pulse of the city and on the strength of the Browns. We really look forward to you being here, and I hope
Good.
that everything comes
Good.
to
Well, thank
be
you.
on October 16th.
Thanks. Thank you very much.
Councilman Kelly.
Thank you. As you first member here, welcome to Cleveland.
Thank you.
We're very happy to have you. We're very happy to have an injection of enthusiasm in the team, and we're have great hopes for the Browns.
Good.
Not to pry too much in your personal life, but there have been reports that you had stepped down from your
Right.
previous position. Are you intending to spend more time in Cleveland with the Browns? Are you?
That's a great question. And we, at the press conference on August 3rd, when we introduced ourselves, we said that we were going to continue to run Pilot Flying JR Company and help with the Browns organization. And just by chance, the president of Pepsi, who's also an East Tennessee